Alrighty, so presentation number 2 today. We're heading to Kamloops. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining this Canada Specialist Program webinar. Angie from Tourism Kamloops, welcome back. Please take it away.
Thank you, Charlie. So good morning to you and good afternoon from Kamloops, BC. I would like to acknowledge and give honor to the land that we live, work, play, and welcome visitors to. So Kamloops is situated on the traditional lands of the Kamloops Secwepemc within Secwepemc Nation. And the name Kamloops actually comes from the Secwepemc word Kamloops, meaning meeting of the rivers, as we're located at the joining of the North and South Thompson rivers. So as Charlie did point out, you're more than welcome to take notes if you want, but I will be following up with our new trade flat sheet and other resources. So please just enjoy the next 11 or so minutes. So my name is Angie Polos, and I am the Destination Experience Specialist at Tourism Kamloops. I work closely with our Director of Destination Development and Trade Relations, Lisa Strachan. So you may have encountered Lisa or I at some shows over the past year or so. So over the next 10 or so minutes, I'm going to dive into a video kind of showcasing who we are as a community, where we're located in BC in relation to Vancouver and Calgary, some signature attractions and events, Indigenous tourism experiences, outdoor adventure, which, spoiler alert, is kind of what we're known for, our winter experiences, and lastly, top it off with some trade resources. So I will now show you a quick video that we're pretty proud of, just kind of showcasing who we are in Kamloops.
It all began with two rivers. Through millions of years, their energy carved through the rugged terrain of British Columbia, creating a confluence in a place called Kamloops.
Wow, okay, enough of the deep talk, Mr. Sears commercial guy. To make it simpler, where those rivers meet, well, that's where we call home. That confluence is kind of a perfect way to describe us. We're like a duality that unites. A place where you can do you, no matter what that looks like. Where you'll probably find real cowboys drinking beer with real lawyers. We don't judge. Where you'll find art on our arms and in our alleys. Where drumming brings us home to the truth and lets us shake off the day. That's what Kamloops is all about. Because you can do things like this, and then do things like this, all in the same day. Heck, even in the same hour.
Yeah.
Yep. And I know deserts get the whole dry stereotype, but getting wet definitely isn't a problem here. Oh, hey there. Okay, moving on. And even as weird as we can be, this place is filled with way too many nice people. The kind who hold the door for you long before you've arrived. Who stop to let strangers cross. And who point the way, whatever way that is. And while our roots are drawn from our resources, we got a lot going on here. We're still built on what we have, but we also know exactly where we're going. We're not just what you'll find at the confluence of our rivers. We are the confluence. We're exactly what you expected, and so much that you didn't. We're different strokes from different folks, creating awesomeness at the middle. Duality uniting. We know it, and we like it that way. And we are proud to say that.
We are the Kamloops Secwepemc.
We are Kamloops.
So while I hope that you're able to jump in the powwow arbor and experience all the attractions and stay in, the greatest hotels, we hope that your time in Kamloops, you're treated like a local and greeted with warm hospitality that video showcases. But now onto logistics. So as I mentioned, Kamloops is centrally located in the southern interior of BC, about 4 hours northeast of Vancouver and 8 hours west of Calgary along Highway 1. And we're actually the merge points of Highway 1, 97, and the 5 and the 5A. So we are at the junction of major highways, but we're also easily accessible via ground transportation, rail service, and air with many daily direct flights into the Kamloops Airport, which is pictured here on the right. Airline partners include Air Canada, WestJet, Central Mountain Air, and Pacific Coastal Airlines. Rail partners include Rocky Mountaineer and Via Rail. Lastly, ground transport partners include eBus, Rider Express, and Adventure Charters. One thing I love about the Kamloops lifestyle is just pack what you want. You don't need 4 different outfits for one day of various excursions. If you're hiking in the morning and want to go to a winery afternoon, you do you. We are happy to greet you as you are. Moving on to accommodations. So we have approximately 3,000 hotel rooms scattered across 50 odd hotels and motels throughout the city. While there are a lot of locally owned and operated companies, there are brands such as Marriott, IHG, Wyndham, and Best Western. This will be followed up in an email as I can talk about our accommodation partners all day. I just wanted to highlight this as whether you choose to check out the local scenery or hit the hill hard with your bike or skis, there are comfortable places to get a good night's sleep at a very affordable rate. Some signature attractions and events that I'd like to highlight. Where do I begin? I'll start with our attractions. So the Kamloops Wine Trail, Wildlife Park, Art Gallery, and Heritage Railway would probably be the top 4 recommendations that I would have if you were coming to Kamloops. As I mentioned, we are located in the Thompson Valley at about 50 degrees latitude. So we do have 4 award-winning wineries that are open spring through fall. The Wildlife Park is located 15 minutes from downtown and is home to over 60 species of Indigenous animals to BC, including Clover the Coyote bear, kind of looks like an albino black bear. Lastly, for arts and culture, the Art Gallery and Heritage Railway are very unique attractions. Events is really where we shine in the summer in Kamloops. You'd be remiss not to come here and experience live music in the park at Riverside Park every day in July and August, or experience the Pride Festival for an entire week in August. The Powwow, which is the second image on your screen, is the largest celebration of Indigenous culture in Western Canada. And the powwow is open to anybody, and it is every August. And lastly, the Buskers Festival and then the Adams River Salmon Run. It's one of the largest migrations of salmon going inland, and we're over 300 kilometers, I believe, from the coast. So it's really cool ecotourism experience. I wanted to highlight Indigenous experiences really quickly. There are more providers in town, but there are a few that are trade ready. I did mention the powwow in the last slide. But there are some Indigenous guided experiences, such as canoeing down the South Thompson River with moccasin trails, which is the bottom right photo. There are guided snowshoe tours with a new partner that we're working with. And new over the past 12 or so months, there is a farmers and artisan market called the Quiseltican Market, which means relations or relatives in Secwepemc. And that takes place at the Powwow grounds, June through September. Moving on to water sports. So there are 100 lakes within a 1-hour drive of Kamloops, and the beauty of being located where we are, there are so many different climates to explore. There are a few providers that can help you get on your feet as well. There's Brooker Marina and Beach Club, Kamloops Water Sport Rentals, Sea Lakes Water Bikes, and Paddle Surf It. From paddleboards, kayaks, a jet boat, life jackets, everything in between. Pictured here is paddleboarding on Heffley Lake, which is between Kamloops and Sun Peaks, and is a pretty popular destination. Fly fishing gets its own slide because Kamloops is quite renowned for fly fishing. We're even hosting the World Championships at 5 surrounding lakes next September. So I did mention we've got 100 lakes within a 1-hour drive. We have a number of operators that can pick guests up from their hotels and take them to a secluded lake. Rainbow trout, from what I've heard, is the fish of choice, and it's a really lovely experience being where we are. Since we're looking at the time, I'm just going to dive into winter in Kamloops, as it's probably my favorite season. What I think I forgot to mention at the start is that Kamloops is located in a semi-arid desert. So we've got really hot, dry summers, but with that comes really lovely, mild winters. Not as lovely as Victoria, I will say that. But we have really dry, powdery snow, which means you can ski all day and not get soaking wet. So as I mentioned, winter is probably my favorite season. And if you want an authentic Canadian experience, December through February is a beautiful time to come here. The top right image is the Woodward Christmas Tree Farm. So it is exactly the same, a Christmas tree farm where you can go chop down a tree, get some mulled cider, sample some wine at the winery that's on site. If you like hockey, Kamloops Blazers are a local hockey team, and they play downtown at the local arena, which is a stone's throw from a hotel as well. If you like events, there's also the wine festival and the film festival later in the year. With winter experiences, I have mentioned already Sun Peaks Resort. There's also a local family resort called Harper Mountain for Nordic skiing, pictured here, Overlander Ski Club. And I had to mention interior fly fishing, as they do ice fishing, which is a must try or must see experience if you're in Canada. Finishing up, because I could talk about winter all day, here are a few trade resources, which I'll follow up with an email. We've got a new flat sheet, the first 2 slides on your left, with product updates, more stats, 5 new reasons to visit, and everything else. We've got a media library, newsletter, website, which I would love to hear about and get your questions from. But in the meantime, that is just a snapshot of trade in Kamloops. And I believe, well, I can't get to the next slide, but that's okay. Just our contact info at TK if you've got any questions. So that's it from me.